Alrighty, guys. Next on the list is my center console, my underside of my center console. So God only knows how much I'm going to wrestle with this. But all this got to come out, and might as well clean it while I'm down here. So that's next. Let's get after it. Okay, guys and gals. Started taking this inner structure of the center console apart, and I finally got to these three cables that we got here. One's a four-wheel drive selector, one is the transmission selector, and the other one is lock for the steering column. I'm looking at this, doesn't look like it's too complicated, but honestly, I don't want to mess with it. And I think I can get the dash out. I'm probably going to regret this, or some of you Jeep guys are going to be like, take it out now. But I was able to get the cable for the steering wheel lock down below, so I think I'll be all right. Probably not, but we'll see. All right, so you guys see something missing? Yeah, it's over on the floor. So who was with me a minute ago when I said I'm gonna let it ride and see if it's gonna be a problem? Well, stick with me, folks. You'll be confused in no time. Stuff came out a lot easier than I thought. I figured old brittle plastics, I didn't want to break them, but they came out pretty easy. So the heck with it. Probably gonna go get the vacuum pretty soon. Look at this, this is nasty. People that own this Jeep had a dog. Still looking at the freaking hair. All right, what's next? I think we're going back under the hood. Okay, back under the hood here, guys. If you remember last time, I pulled out this big tray with the battery and the tipping module. Part of what I'm doing too is my radiator. This truck just hit 200,000 miles on it. Overflow tank, radiator, hoses. They got a bunch of miles on it. And I'm not letting any of that crap get into my new heater core, because this job's a pain in the ass and I don't want to do it a second time. That's one of the other reasons why I went out and bought a brand new OEM Mopar heater core. So we're gonna start draining the coolant. We're gonna get this reservoir out of here because I got a new one of those. Get some hoses off of here and start tearing this thing down. Hopefully we'll get the radiator in. All this got to come off as far as the grill and the grill surround, because there's some kind of hidden bolts back there. I'll show you where they're at. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So pulling this radiator off, this little shroud that's here, it's got these push pins. Step one in pulling this radiator, it's got this one shroud here. It's got these push pins on here. Just grab your handy dandy pry tool, get underneath it. They pop out real easy. Now your grill, on the other hand, has got these horrible plastic Phillips screws that are god awful. I'd like to. All right, boys and girls, children of all ages. Had a cover here, pops off, just the little push pins that go in these four spots. There is another couple of these plastic screws that I absolutely can't stand. I'd like to meet the guy that designed them and hit him smack dab in the face. And then this the grill comes off. There's some clips down below. Got one that's broke. I'm gonna have to refix it. And then unplug your turn signals, and you'll get that going. After that, best thing to do, start draining your coolant. And radiators have what's called a petcock valve, and it is a small valve. I'll show you on the new radiator when I go ahead and put it in, because I can't really get a good view of it. But you turn it, and it starts draining the coolant out. And then I started kind of pumping the upper radiator hose, turning the water pump just to get the rest of the coolant out, and leave the bucket there, let it drain. So, next thing to go, these fans. These fans are coming out, and then the radiator's coming out. Oh, I got a new overflow tank. I think I said that earlier. But these are pretty cool. This is pretty cool. It just kind of slides right onto the fan shroud, and works pretty well. Other than that, this is junk. This is garbage, so we can put it over on this side. Let's take a look at our pile of goodness over here. Running out of room. Put that right there. All right, cool. Let's get back at it. All right, guys, fan came out. 2 8mm bolts, one right here, one right here. It's got 3 push pins, just like the top. that that are holding the bottom with a piece of shroud, and then it hooks in on both sides. So get rid of those two, pop out your push pins, unplug your harness, and you'll take the whole thing right out. Okay, guys, so I don't know who was with me before and who wasn't, but like I said before in an earlier video, it was I got a new lower radiator hose, so we're going to pull that out. I'm going to pull the tensioner to make it a little easier to grab it off the water pump, and then got a couple bolts to pull the radiator out. A couple 10 mils right there. I think there's some push pins underneath. I know I got to separate the AC condenser, so there's some stuff back here. I'll show you where it is, but let's get that tensioner off and that lower radiator. All right, guys and gals, here is the radiator out in all its glory. You can see, if we take this guy and stand it straight up, this is how it sits in the Jeep. You got your two 10mm bolts on this side holding it in. You will have your petcock right there, and I can show you what the other piece looks like here in a second, and it'll hook into the grill surround. Now, couple things. You will have 4 8mm bolts that hold the AC condenser to the radiator. Don't forget, this is very important. Make sure whatever tool you're using, you drop it into the bucket of coolant underneath the Jeep, so you have to go fishing like I did. However, there is another 8mm right here. There's a push pin on this side, and there's a push pin on this side. Then at that point, you can get the radiator out. So here, right here, and here is where those two pieces go. If we look down here, there's where the 1 8mm is. You got a push pin down here, and you got another push pin down there. And there's the bucket of coolant that I dropped my 8mm socket in. Obviously, good idea, good time. Clean all the leaves and crud out of here. Make things work a little bit better. I think at one point I had a dead bird in here. So, let's unbox that new radiator. All right, guys. Here is the new aftermarket radiator and all its aftermarket radiator glory goodness. I'd like to get this thing going today. Looks pretty good. I cheaped out. I got an aftermarket one. I didn't want to get an OEM mold part one. It's a lot easier to put a radiator in a car than it is doing a heater core. So that's kind of where I was thinking with that. Let's see. Let's get it in. Okay, so I didn't think I'd be getting to this point, but we're going to start bolting things back together. So, as you can see, all that's there. So we're going to start going ahead and putting our 4 8mm. Got one that's going to go there, another one that's going to go there if the camera will focus, another one down here, and one more right up there. So, and then we got our hidden 5th one that's over there. Push pins are back in, and then we got 2 10mm. So let's get after it. All right, so the new radiator is in place. Finally got to reassemble some stuff. A couple things I wanna let you guys know. Don't do what I did, and that is put all your push pins, put all the easy stuff together first, and then go to the hard stuff. These 4 bolts, that 8mm, that 8mm, that one, and then this one, do those first. You will fight with this thing. You'll fight a lot less with it if you just do those first. Trust me. New radiator's in though, looks good. We're gonna do that lower radiator hose and we'll do the fan shroud. All right, guys, so here, let's take a look at this real quick. New radiator is in and installed, all ready to go. Got a fancy new overflow tank from Dorman. I reused my original OEM style radiator cap. It's actually pretty new compared to the rest of the truck, so I reused it. New lower radiator hose, new upper radiator hose. Didn't connect it to the thermostat because I got an intake manifold gasket to do, and I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Shroud is back together, so this is 100% ready to go. Didn't put the grill back on because once again I got to do that intake manifold gasket, and I'm sure I'm going to be climbing up there, and I don't want to break anything. So cool. it's done. Finally, making some progress. Look at all the crud and leaves. Ew.